Joining me live now is the New South Wales State Emergency Services Assistant Commissioner, Dean Storey. Dean Storey, thanks very much for your time today. I do want to begin on that tragic news of those two bodies found in Sydney's suburb of Wentworthville. How concerned are you that the death toll will continue to rise?
Yeah, very tragic news, and that's been investigated by New South Wales Police at this point in time. But it reaffirms the fact that this flooding emergency across New South Wales isn't over. It continues to be a dangerous and volatile situation across much of the state. In fact, the entire east coast of the state is currently subject to flood warnings. 54 evacuation orders remain in place, with more probably going out today. And that rainfall continues. And rivers are full, dams are full, the ground is soaked. It doesn't take much at all for additional heavy rain to result in flash flooding, very dangerous flash flooding, particularly if you attempt to drive through it, and also the riverine flooding. All that water is draining down the catchments. Rivers are high and are flooding in some areas and may continue to flood to moderate to major levels across many locations as well. So the SES is really urging the community across the entire east coast of New South Wales to be vigilant, but be aware of your local weather forecasts and your local risks and plan accordingly and act accordingly. Follow the advice from the SES and local authorities. As I said, it's a very dangerous and volatile situation we're currently in. Although the rain is going to ease slightly this afternoon into this evening and tomorrow, again, there's still a lot of water in those rivers and a lot left in this flooding emergency in the state.
You mentioned there that you're expecting more areas to get some evacuation notices put on alert. There's 54 suburbs currently. Where else are you expecting to have these alerts put in place? The
impact area is quite significant. So the key message to the community is to go to the SES website for the most up-to-date information on evacuation warnings and evacuation orders. But a key focus at this point in time is the Lower Macleay and Kempsey area, the Hawkesbury Nepean and Western Sydney area, and also down in the Illawarra South Coast around Sussex and the Georges Basin. Huge amounts of rainfall in the last 24 hours, and those areas are a particular focus right now. But as I said, the entire east coast of New South Wales is currently subject to flood warnings with dozens and dozens of evacuation orders in place. The community needs to be aware of their local risk. The best way to do that is to go to the SES website and also always monitor your local weather forecast conditions through the Bureau.
What's the latest you've had in terms of calls for help?
Just in the last 24 hours, we've had close to 3,000 requests for assistance from our community and hundreds of flood rescues. Since the start of this weather event, we've had close to 20,000 requests for assistance and close to 2,000 flood rescues. So this is a major event. SES units and volunteers across the state are working hand in glove with our emergency service partners and government agencies, as well as support from the ADF and also interstate. It's a massive response that's underway, and as I said, it's not over yet. We really need the community to remain vigilant, monitor those local conditions, be aware of local risks and hazards, and act accordingly.
How are SES volunteers going? Do they have much left in the tank?
SES volunteers, as well as the other emergency service volunteers in the state, are there to support their communities. But this has been a long campaign. No doubt they're very, very tired. We tip our hat to them for their selfless efforts. They're going out there at all hours of the day and night, serve their communities, putting their lives at risk. No doubt they're very much looking forward to that sun coming out and the operational activity decreasing. But it has been a hard time for them, and we really want to recognise their efforts and their ongoing efforts. As I said, this flood emergency isn't over yet. There's still a lot of activity and operational events that'll be forthcoming in the next couple of days.
Assistant Commissioner Dean Storey, thanks for your time today.
Thank you.